We're here at Rincon de Luna in the southwest corner of Córdoba province here in Argentina, and we're hunting giant red stags. So the morning starts, like every morning does here at Rincon de Luna, early. It's winter here in Argentina and it's very, very cold. Our plan was to head out on horseback, get up right to the high ground, and then spend the day glassing and looking for the animal. Now here at Rincon de Luna, there are many, many animals. The environment is absolutely perfect for sustaining healthy populations of wild game. So it's about 9:15 a.m. We've been out for about an hour from this morning. As you can see, the sun is bright in the sky. We started off by getting up to this high ground on the horses to see if we can spot any herds. Now, there's some pretty tall elevation points up around here, and we spotted a herd of buffalo and a herd of red stags, and they're about 1,800 yards off. So that's the great thing about hunting on horses. You get to gain that elevation, and then you can hunt from reasonably good plateaus that give you a really good field of view. So now we've seen them, Santiago has an idea of how we're going to get to them. So now all we need to do is find a place where we can get off a little bit closer, manoeuvre around, and find a great vantage point from which to shoot. But so far, breathtaking. And as the day progressed, we saw red hinds, red stags. There's no shortage of game here, but it's not for the faint-hearted. If you want to earn a trophy here, you've got to put the work in, and that means many long hours in the saddle or many long hours on your feet. The terrain here is challenging and breathtaking, both physically and visually. So we've just spooked two reasonably big stags. One of them is pretty magnificent, 15 points. He was with a pretty good 8 or 9 year old that was quite tall and is going to be big. He's not one that needed taking. They both stood for a little bit, but I just couldn't get the shot in time. Just needed him to turn, but unfortunately he didn't give me the shot. We tried to make our way around the ridge. He disappeared down and then came around, but unfortunately by the time we got here, he cleared out. I even dropped my pack halfway back. I'm gonna have to go and find that in a minute, just to give me a little bit more maneuverability and make me more light on my feet. So it was an early start to the day. It's been pretty tough. We've now got the last rays of sun in the sky, and that means that for today we're all done. It's going to be another couple of hours to get back to the estancia, and this isn't the place I want to get stranded at night. But we've seen a lot of animals, we put a lot of work in, and we know they're out here somewhere. It's just putting the effort in, putting the time in on the mountain, and then seeing what it delivers to us. But it's been an epic day, fabulous country, breathtaking scenery, magnificent animals. What more could you want than this? I'll tell you what, I want another day at it tomorrow. It's time we should get back. But conditions on day 2 were very different to the first. In fact, so different, we had to take a completely approach to our hunt. The wind was howling, gale force winds blowing through the valleys and through the mountains, and horses really don't like those sorts of conditions. In fact, it could be pretty dangerous, particularly up there on the side of the mountain. That meant that all of our hunting had to be on foot, even the hard miles, even the tough climbing. We started on the very high ground, moving our way around the estate, looking for sheltered spots in the grass where the animals could lie and wait out the wind. What the animals like to do in conditions such as those is rest up and wait out the storm. They're pretty used to it up here, they're pretty hardy animals, but for us, we had to have our faces in that wind all of the time, and it was tough, tough going. But as the afternoon progressed and the wind died down, everything changed. The hills were alive with movement as the animals that had been cowering from the storm decided to come out and feed, and that gave us our opportunity. We'd spotted a couple of red stags from about 700 yards away that were sat in an open area in the grass, nicely sheltered, but enjoying the sun that had broken through the cloud. Now, the only problem for us is they were some distance off across the other side of a ravine. We had some work to do to cut around, out of sight, and get down within a shooting position. But that's the great thing about hunting with Santiago. He knows these mountains, he knows every gully, every nook, every cranny, and every approach point to get the perfect shot. So although it took a lot of walking and about an hour and a half's worth of trekking, we finally managed to get about 300 yards from the stags and then work out how to make our final approach. So we slowly crept up behind a rock, got ourselves into position, and then waited for the perfect opportunity. A mature male with really thick horns was feeding in towards a rock. I had to just wait for him to stand still for a brief second before I took the shot. One of the great things about hunting here are there are lots of shooting points. Every rock is a very stable base from which to shoot. The only trouble is whether or not you get the angle when the animal turns.
Gracias.
Yes.
Muy bueno. Very good.
That's a big bull. Okay. Next safe.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's go get it. My lord, what an incredible animal. We saw red hinds, we saw groups of stags, and we saw this one with a friend who were grazing down here at the bottom near the river here. And we just hoped that they'd wait and give us enough time to get round and onto them. And boy, when we got here, were we glad. Then as we approached the far side of the ravine, he stood up and started grazing. That gave us enough time to get into position on the rock. And because he kept putting his nose into the grass and the rocks here to feed, that gave me a chance to move into position without being seen. And he stood perfectly broadside for me, gave me the perfect shot at 200 yards. He's counted 17 or 18 points in it already, although we've got a jury's out on that final one on the other side. This is the most difficult and most challenging stag hunt I've ever undertaken, in the most breathtaking and challenging scenery imaginable. The guys here at Rincon de Luna know exactly how to hunt red stags. They know exactly how to handle this terrain. Although it is tough, they make it as easy as they possibly can for you, and they just know how to get into these animals. And this is a result: a magnificent mature old stag, probably the pick of the bunch that we've seen, huge mass, fabulous coat, and a hunt of a lifetime. So if you want to come and experience this, talk to the guys at Frontiers Travel or Ian Cody Sporting, and they'll deliver to you what they've delivered to me. But I can't guarantee you'll get one like this. You'll have to put the work in yourself. And on that note, we've still got a lot of work to do to get this fella off the mountain. I don't think we could have landed it any further away from the lodge. Okay, Santiago, let's go.